Having a daughter is a lot of hard work. Making sure she has the newest clothing, proper manners, and the shiniest new sword are all a little taxing on the wallet. Well, you know how 10-year-olds are. All they want are the shiniest new weapons, armor, and lessons on the art of war. Oh, sorry, I don't have a real daughter. I'm just playing Princess Maker on Steam. It's a game that lets you raise a virtual daughter as your own, and it's not as wholesome as that title may make it seem. Nor is it as gross as that title may make it seem. It strikes the line somewhere in the middle. Mostly. Princess Maker originally released in 1991 in Japan. It was popular enough to get a sequel, and a Chinese port, but not popular enough to get an English translation. Honestly, the only reason I even heard of this game was because of another YouTuber named PBG. He made it look so much fun on his channel, so I thought I'd give it a try. So thanks for the free content, peeps. Before we start, if you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing. A lot of our viewership comes from people who aren't subscribed to the channel. We love making content for everyone out there and don't want anyone to miss out on an upload. Thanks, and let's get back to the video. Princess Maker starts with you getting to decide your family name, and then the name of your daughter. I thought for a long time about what name would be fitting for my character, then I typed in Dumph, before accidentally locking in that name. Well, that's fine, but what name would work with Dumph? It had to be something much more refined. How about Bump? Yes, Bump Dumph will suit her perfectly. The game then gives you a little backstory about a great war that took place in the kingdom. Your character was the hero of the war, bringing down the greatest threat the kingdom has ever known. Following the end of the war, your character is given a chance to be a general for the king, but declines due to an injury sustained during the final battle. Instead, Dumph chooses to take care of an orphan created by the war. So after retiring to your mansion, a girl shows up, and you have officially adopted your daughter. Here's Bump Dumph. She's a little too 90s anime aesthetic for me, but I guess this is what I got to work with. She's a 10-year-old orphan who just moves in with you. There's no story or exchange, it just happens. You are now a dad, so I hope you know how to grill, change your car's oil, and go get milk and never come back. The game then plays out like a visual novel. You have to raise your daughter by teaching her different things, buying her things, and taking care of her. You have money that you can use to buy her things or send her to school. You can even buy your daughter weapons and armor, if you feel so inclined. You have 3 slots for weapons and armor that you can equip once you buy them from the store. There's very few weapon options, but that's fine since they mainly just bring up strength and fighting prowess. Those stats only matter if you want to actually fight monsters or fight in the martial arts tournament. No daughter of mine will fight monsters like I did. Look what it did to me. I talk about video games online now. I should probably mention the stats now. Your daughter has stats that you can raise or decrease through the different activities that you can do in the game. You'll want to raise or lower certain stats based on what you want your daughter to do. Though, in order for your daughter to do literally anything, you have to put it on her schedule first. You can make a schedule that will dictate what she does over the next month. You decide on 3 different tasks that she'll complete week to week, and once done with all of those, you'll move on to the next month. So what are the things that your daughter can do? Well, you can put her right to work. There's different jobs, each with a stat they increase, one that they decrease, and a daily wage. You only gain the job bonus if you succeed at the job. That means no stat increase, decrease, or pay if your daughter makes a mistake. Early on, it's really easy to make mistakes, as you have to build up her spirit stat, morale, and keep her stress low. All of those factor into whether she can actually do the job or not. The jobs are important for both building up stats and making money to buy all the things you'll need. Apart from jobs, you can also pay for classes for your daughter to take. These include military classes, studying academics, elegance courses, or doing errantry. These cost a good chunk of money, but increase the stats a lot faster than the jobs will. They cost a whole bunch of wages for the courses. No wonder I went to the war. I couldn't afford to go to college. Military studies are exactly what they sound like. You learn combat, military tactics, and gain experience. You can progress through the classes if you are able to best your teacher in combat. This class is very easy to climb if you just do the right jobs and buy the katana. The next course is for academics. These classes make you smarter and add to your intelligence. Intelligence is important for magic and makes your daughter book smart. Useful if you want her to make good decisions. And not the ones I made. I'm a single father who forces his 10-year-old to go to work. Finally, you have elegance training. These classes help you to gain the elegance required to gain an air of nobility and prance around high society. It's annoying, but you will need it to appear more refined than you are. You also need to be elegant to meet the king. The more elegant you are, the more people you can talk to moving up the social ladder. Errantry was super annoying, so I very rarely did it. It's like an adventure mode where you can travel around, battle monsters, and collect items. It's fun if that's what you want to do, but combat isn't great in this game. It's super RNG based, and you've seen my track record with RNG. I still have nightmares. Classes and work both bring up stats, but they also bring up stress. Stress is a huge part of the game. Stress decides whether or not you pass a class or complete a job correctly. Too much stress can make everything harder to complete if you don't manage it properly. Wow, just like real life. If your daughter gets too stressed, she can even get sick. When she's sick, she'll lose stats every day for a month until she feels better. This can set you back very far if you get unlucky when the game decides which stats to drain. There's so much RNG in this game. If I didn't have a daughter to take care of, I'd be so out of here. To counter her stress, you can give her days off. Bump takes some pocket money from you and goes to visit the town. This drops both her morale meter and her stress. These two stats are ones you'll want to manage as well as you can. If morality ever drops lower than stress, you'll have a chance of your daughter becoming a delinquent. When this happens, she'll refuse to work anywhere, and only the church plus distressing can bring her back. The church only pays $1 a day, but it also gives you morality points, which keeps her from becoming a delinquent. Putting the fear of God in children always solves the problem. Just ask Carrie. You can also lower her stress by giving her gifts, which you can buy at the store. These include anything from a new dress to a doll. The amount of stress lost depends on the item, though this isn't the most effective way to lower stress, unless you just happen to be rolling in it. Which I am. Certified millionaire. Can you believe they're just handing these out in front of the Dollar Tree? There is one more way you can drop her stress. You can take your daughter on vacation to different locations, based on what time of year it is. This drops her stress and costs some money. It doesn't drop her morality, but the stress drop is less than just letting her rest. You also get these cute scenes of your daughter enjoying her vacation. Just don't go on a vacation in summer. Like ever. Trust me. The months will pass, as will the seasons. Then, when you get to autumn, you'll be able to compete in 2 competitions for the Harvest Festival. The first competition is the Kingdom's Next Top Model. That's not what it's actually called. In this contest, you'll compete against the other women in the kingdom and see who's the most elegant, beautiful, and... You are a very sick, sick man. I hope they lock you up. Except they can't because you're the king and also just a picture. So let's see how Bump did in the competition. Alright, pretty good so far. We've won the God of the Sun award. Nice. Alright, we lost the God of the Moon award. Easy to lose that one. We lost the God of the Stars. I really never see us winning that one anyways. Alright, Bump, this is it. Amongst you 3, who is the best girl? And it's none of you apparently. This competition is rigged. I demand a recount. The other event you can compete in is the martial arts competition. This one pits all the fighters in the kingdom against one another like in Dragon Ball. Bump will win this one for sure. She can fight, monsters and strange men. This game is kind of weird. Look, Bump, one more enemy and we win the whole thing. Let's go, Bump. I knew you could do it, Bump. This is the happiest my children will ever make me. Once enough time goes by and your daughter slowly ages up to becoming an adult, the game will prepare you for the ending. Let's see what we got. Alright, Bump, you married a nobleman. Low ranking, but I still couldn't be more proud. You go out there and change the nobility from the inside. I never want to see this kind of king rule a kingdom again. So that's one of the many endings you can get in this game. I think there's something like 30 endings in total. Each one is based off the stats you build up throughout the game and how liked you were by the people. If you win more competitions, you'll gain more adoration and achieve a better ending. There's also some really bad endings. You can end up with these for a multitude of different reasons. Most of these are based on not getting high enough stats or letting other stats fade to 0. Probably the worst ending for your daughter is to become the village prostitute or be just a divorced woman. Like, that's the entire ending. Just divorced woman. The best ending for sure is to either become the queen or princess of the kingdom, as that is the name of the game. These require you to have a good reputation and great stats in multiple areas. So that's Princess Maker. It's a weird Japanese visual novel that if not for PBG I would have never heard of. I think it's pretty decent for what it's worth. A little iffy in some areas, but it is Japanese, so that's kind of expected. Would I recommend it? Yeah, if it's on sale and any of this video looked interesting to you in the slightest. I wonder how many sequels this game got. That could be a problem.